Good morning, and everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Best Advice Ever channel, where the best advice is no advice. So, today, in the adventures of Survival Land, one of the things that we do in survival, is we surround ourselves with family, or we don't surround ourselves with family. Okay? And that looks differently in survival for each person. Me personally, when I was growing up, as I got older, I began separating myself from my family, and my family began distancing themselves from me. So, I did not grow up in a comfy, cozy, I love you kind of family. I grew up in a very broken and separated family. And I'm not going to go into details of that because I know that everyone has their own story. There are plenty of people out there who've had a worse upbringing than I did. But that's not the point to the story. The point to the story is that because of that upbringing and because of that trauma, there's a lot of trauma there. And there's a lot of trauma that will never go away. Doesn't matter how much therapy I do. Doesn't matter how many times I, go to a yoga nidra, or I go to a hypnotherapy session, or I do any of the other things I do, right? Those memories and that trauma will still be there. And the things that I have chosen to do with my life, or not chosen to do with my life, will still be there. And that won't change. It is part of who I am, and it's part of why I am who I am, because of those choices and things like that. So, that being said, that also means that because I've separated myself from my family, that I am not close to my brothers and sisters. I am not close to my nieces and nephews. I wanted to be, and then every time I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do little things, stuff like that, I would become afraid. And that record would play and say, you're just going to ruin their lives. You're not good for them. You need to stay away from them. You are just going to hurt them and blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that happens is when you come into someone's life and then you leave and you come back and you leave, that hurts, And that's what I did. I came in and I left, and I came in and I left. But, missed opportunities and all that great stuff, right? But that's not the point. The point of the story is that I now have the first niece that I have. She is now married. We're not going to go into the story of the family dynamics of any of the things, but she is the first one to be married. And my sister Amanda, her mom, was also the first one to be married in the generation that I was born into. And so my niece Emily is the first one in her generation of children to be married, And so it's a bit surreal, to think of time going by like that, Because all my memories are of when she was little, and she's a little baby, or the week that I spent, and it was, her mom was at work, and me and her, we'd have our little routine, We get up, we go do whatever, play and stuff. We would go in the stroller and we would walk to the Dairy Queen, you know, and we get like a little lunch or maybe like a little dessert snack to have later or whatever. And we would walk back, you know, and then we would play or have a nap or something like that, or whatever it is we were going to do. Maybe tidy up around the house and stuff, you know. And, you know, that was a good routine, you know. And I loved that. And I did the same with my nephews, you know, and stuff. And with my brother's kids. My niece and nephews there when I would stay. And, you know, it just... Damage just keeps going, you know? And anyway, the point to the story is that I do not have a good relationship with any of my nieces and nephews, you know? Or even my brothers and sisters, for that matter. But we'll say this, I'm about to go visit, and I haven't been there for over 5 years. I know over 5 years, and this was, I think, a couple years before COVID and stuff like that. And I was supposed to go visit one of my sisters in 2020, and that got knocked down. And then February of 2022, I was supposed to fly in and go see my, or is it 2022 or 2023? 2023, last February. So not this year, not 2024 February. Wait, was it 2024 February? I don't know. I can't remember things. Anyway, in the last 2 Februaries, I was supposed to go down there, and it was going to be me and my friend, because he drives and stuff like that. We're going to take care of my storage that's down there and be there for my dad's birthday, right? And my brother JD's birthday. And we were going to be there mostly for my brother JD. And then just add things into it. But there was a violent snowstorm the night before I was supposed to fly out. And so everything got canceled. I still took the week off. I stayed home, you know. I talked to my brother and stuff. But, you know, but this time we're going to go in October. We are going to take a train. And, you know, I've never taken a train before, so we're going to take a train. We are going to... I'm taking all of my paychecks that I don't use for bills and for groceries. That money is going into to paying for the plane tickets, to come back, to paying for the train tickets going up there, and then I'm gonna get some of those prepaid Visa cards and put money into those, so that I don't even bring my bank card. I just bring those, and that's it. That's all I'm doing, you know. And a little bit of cash to have as tip for the train attendants and things like that. And you know, I'm hoping, I don't know what I'm hoping for, you know. I'm not expecting a big welcome, you know. I'm not expecting to see all of my nieces and nephews. I'm not even expecting to see all my brothers and sisters, you know, to be honest. I hope that the ones I do see, the ones that want to see me, that we make a good last memory, you know? Because a last memory is what you have the last time when someone isn't there, you know? And that's what I want to do. Because I don't know when I'm going to come back. I don't know if I will ever come back, you know? And that's the thing, is that with me living in Arizona, you know, anything could happen, you know? One of the things that's going on is I'm going to be seen next week or the week after, about a couple of weeks, but 2-3 weeks, about my spine. And I have advanced degeneration in my spine, and there's a portion of my spine that has bulging discs. They're not bursted, but they're bulging. And the suggested recommendation is surgery on my spine. And so that is something that I want to avoid at all costs, because one, I don't have anyone to take care of me for the recovery of that surgery. Two, there is a chance, there always is when you have something that delicate, that I could have permanent damage because of the surgery on my spinal cord, and I could wind up paralyzed from my back down. And that is one of my nightmares, And I don't want that to happen. So I want to come in, and I want to have one last time to see my family and have a good memory, not a bad memory, If this is the last time I see them for a long time or ever, I want it to be a good one, And that's part of survival. In surviving, you do things to preserve yourself. Sometimes it's separation, and sometimes it is holding on and living the best way you can. So that is what I want. And if I have any wisdom to pass on to anyone, that is, live your best life. Whatever that is, live your best life. And if you have loved ones around you, do your best to keep in mind that when you're no longer around, that hopefully you've created more joyful memories than sorrowful memories. You don't want to forget the sorrow memories, because that is the tempered metal of who we are and the relationships that we have. Some of those sorrows break people, and some create stronger bonds, and some cause a needed separation, and then you can come back together. Whatever those look like for each individual. But have some good memories to look back on, And that's what I'm going to try to do in this trip, is have at least a few good memories that they have of me and I have of them. Because one day, I'm going to be I am the family member that will be forgotten. I will be that family member that is forgotten. And I know I will be. and that's okay. I made my choices to be away, to be separated, and I think that was a good choice. I don't think it was a bad choice. Anyway, so long for this video, but go forth, live your best life, and remember, Adventures in Survival Land, girls, they get a little real sometimes. They get a little emotional, and we do what we do. Peace.